Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and Apple released new Macs today. We're also expecting more products later in the week, as well as many software updates. This is your weekly Apple News update for the week of March 4th, 2024. This morning, Apple released a new MacBook Air with an M3 chip in it. It's available to pre-order now, and you can pick it up starting March 8th. If we go to order now, you'll see that we have the M2 variant still available, and then the 13-inch and 15-inch M3. You'll see if we scroll down, we have all of the similar colors we've had before. However, the midnight color is said to be more fingerprint resistant than the previous version. You can fully spec this out, and if we select this version, we'll see what the actual price is. If we scroll down, you'll see that you can start at about $12.99, and then if we fully spec it out with 24 gigs of memory or RAM and 2 terabytes of storage, you'll see it jumps up to about $22.99. So it's not a cheap device, and you'll see it's available now. If we want to add it, $22.99, you can pick it up on Friday. Apple also released a bunch of new accessories this week. For the iPhone, we have all new spring colors for pink. We have a few different variants here as well. So if we go down, you'll see here we have soft mint. We also have sunshine. We have light blue, and then we have a pink. Apple decided not to update the fine woven cases. We'll talk about that in a moment. Also, there's new watch bands. So if we scroll over, you'll see we have matching watch bands. Some of them are the Sport Loop, some of them are the Sport Band, but they're all new colors that go along with those new spring colors and case colors that will all be available in iOS 17.4 and watchOS 10.4. And as I mentioned, there are no new fine woven cases, and I think that's because they haven't been very well received. Some people love them. I've never been a fan of the texture, and apparently on Amazon, they've even added a label stating it's frequently returned. So they're just warning people that it seems they're returned a lot, and maybe Apple will do something different, as again, this isn't my favorite texture to replace leather. Maybe they could do something else, maybe Alcantara or something like that. Now, the EU is at it again this week against Apple, this time fining them $2 billion for anti-competitive behavior towards Spotify. Apple actually posted a document about this saying where the App Store, Spotify, and Europe's thriving digital music market is to everyone's advantage. And so they're countering this. It's quite long. I'll link this in the description, but you can see more about Spotify paying Apple nothing and much more. So if you want to read all about this, they've filed this apparently this week and asking Apple for $2 billion in violation of that. Spotify, Epic Games, and others are also arguing to the EU that the new implementation for the third-party App Store in iOS 17.4 does not comply with the Digital Market Act, saying they must actually update this because it doesn't comply with EU rules. So we'll probably see more about this after it launches to the public. Apple also published a paper this week going into the intricacies of complying with the Digital Market Act and what they've actually done to help with security and privacy. So again, another white paper that's quite lengthy. You can read all about it here. Again, I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. Apple also updated their Apple TV app this past week with new movies. There's 50 new movies you can actually watch right now if you have TV Plus, everything from Zoolander to Saving Private Ryan to I Am Legend and more. So all of those are available for a limited time, and you can see those on TV Plus under the limited time movies section. Now, I mentioned some of this before, where Apple's savings account in Apple Wallet, if you have that, previously you had a limit of $250,000. Now the limit has been increased to $1 million, where you can earn 4.5% interest yearly. So that's something they've updated if you have that much money to deposit there. Also, Apple is being challenged this week with a class action lawsuit for only offering 5 gigabytes of free limited storage on iPhone for backup. Now, this is a little odd as it's free storage and there are paid tiers as well, and 5 gigabytes isn't much. And in iCloud, you can bump this up to well over 2 terabytes if you pay monthly for it. You don't have to use it, but Apple is offering 5 gigabytes of free storage. I wish they would bump that up, but again, it's free, so it's hard to see how this lawsuit will play out, but we'll have to wait and see. Also this past week, there was some big news as far as the Apple Car project, Project Titan. Apple apparently has discontinued it, according to Mark Gurman at Bloomburg. They've spent over $10 billion in research and development, and I'm sure we'll see things such as AI trickle down from that into things such as iOS 18 and much more. Also, there's news of an Apple executive reaching retirement age, Danny Riccio, who's the head of engineering. So you'll see here, this is when he started in 2021 as Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering. Apparently, he's getting close to retiring, so we may see him replaced very soon. Now, today's video is sponsored by Anker. The new Anker MagGo power bank can provide 1.8 charges to an iPhone 15 Pro with its 10,000 milliamp hour power bank. It has a little display on the side to give you a charge status, and it also tells you how fast it's charging while you're charging through pass-through. It has a little stand on the back as well that you can use, and of course you could rotate the phone as well, as it's adhered using MagSafe, so it's fully compatible with MagSafe. Also, the Anker MagGo wireless charging station is something I've been using recently, especially on trips. If we tilt this up, you'll see we can place the iPhone on here, and we can of course rotate it based on whatever we'd like. We also have the option to charge an Apple Watch and your AirPods at the same time on the back. All of this just charging at once, making it very convenient, and it even has a little fan here to keep everything nice and cool. It tilts from 30 to 60 degrees and allows you to use standby mode at night, FaceTime calls, and more. And be sure to check out all of Anker's MagGo chargers in the description below. Now this week there's a few deals to talk about. In fact, Apple has been discounting Beats all week long. If we go to the Apple Store, and in a rare move from Apple, they're discounting products on their website, you'll see Beats Studio Pro are down from $349 to $199, and if we scroll down, Beats Studio Buds have been discounted and others as well. Additionally, Apple's AirPods Pro 2 are still on sale for $189 on Amazon, sold directly from Apple. This has been sort of continual that they've kept them on sale, and it's a great price if you're looking to pick them up. There's no rumors, at least at this time, of AirPods Pro 3 coming maybe until later this year. Also, the MacBook Air M2 is on sale, M1 of course as well, since they're getting rid of them, as well as iPads, and also Apple is selling the M3 iMac refurbished now, so all of those are available at a discount. Now today we were expecting iOS 17.4 to release to the public. Typically we see those on Monday, but it looks like Apple's getting ready to deliver all of their different updates together as they released a bunch of release candidates today. VisionOS 1.1 RC for Apple Vision Pro is out now if you're a developer, as well as watchOS 10.4 RC is finally out. We've been waiting for that. tvOS and HomePodOS 17.4 RC, and then macOS 14.4 RC, as well as older macOS updates also. All of those are ready to launch probably Tuesday or Wednesday at this point. So instead of releasing today, we can expect them as soon as tomorrow or Wednesday. Then we'll have all of those new features, and of course I'll cover all of the major updates with the changes and more. Now, as far as rumors, leaks, and more this week, well, iOS 18, of course, we're waiting for with big changes. We're expecting some huge changes there, and we'll see the first version of the first beta, typically in June at WWDC, usually in the first or second week, where we'll actually have that event. And then also we'll see beta 1 of all the different versions. This time around, during the annual shareholders meeting, Tim Cook said that Apple will be breaking new ground on generative AI this year. This is actually expected to be introduced in iOS 18 with new Siri options and more, along with some things being redesigned, whether it's the control center or other parts, but many people have been saying, according to Mark Gurman, that this is going to be one of the largest updates ever to iOS. So we'll have to see if they're actually doing that. Also, there is no March Apple event planned as previously thought. It seems Apple will continue releasing products throughout the week, maybe throughout next week, as we're expecting more products. We got the M3 Mac today along with the new cases, and we're expecting new iPads next. We could see those as soon as tomorrow or possibly pushed out a little ways. So we expect a 13-inch iPad Pro with a new MagSafe keyboard and 11-inch version, but this time both are expected to use OLED displays, potentially be a little bit thinner, and have some updates maybe that we're not expecting. We're also expecting a larger iPad Air, maybe a 12.9-inch model there as well. So we'll have to wait and see what they do with those. Hopefully the iPad Air is much less expensive than the iPad Pro, as it's said to be about $1,500 to $2,000 depending on the version. Now, just like we're waiting for iPhone 16 models, the next Apple Watch is expected in September, just like every year. However, this year there was talk that we would have micro LED displays. This seemed to have been canceled last week as a supplier sort of was not going to make their standards. And this week, DigiTimes and ET News report that Apple's still working on bringing micro LED to the watch, but this time with different suppliers. So we still could see that technology this year if it's ready. If not, we'll see it in following years, I'm sure. The next iPhone SE is still planned, and 91 Mobile's revealed a CAD rendering of what it's expected to look like next. Instead of having the rounded design like we currently do with the home button, it's said to resemble more of what we have with the iPhone 14. However, only with one camera, USB-C, and Face ID. So we would get a 6.1-inch OLED, and that's about it. Not a huge update, of course a modern chip as well. And speaking of chips, a recent leak revealed details of 16 upcoming chips Apple is planning to use in future products. This was shared by a reliable source on Twitter or X, and they have a proven track record and are believed to be for the upcoming iPads such as the Mini and Air. So not any major updates that we're seeing, but we are seeing products that aren't released yet that we're expecting these chips in. Also, Apple Vision Pro is new still and of course only available in the USA at this time. However, the next iteration is also being worked on, but recent information from Ming Chi Kuo seems to reveal that the next version won't be out until 2027. That seems quite a ways off and a long time for them to not push out a new product, but in the same post he also said to expect Apple Vision Pro to launch in more countries prior to WWDC 2024. So whether or not we see Apple Vision Pro 2 within the next couple of years is hard to say. Of course, it will probably depend on sales, how far they've progressed with the software, and much more. So that's everything this week with all the things expected for updates this week. iPads coming very soon, maybe next week, but either way, expect all of those things very, very soon. And let me know if there's anything you're excited about. Are you just waiting for iOS 18, new products, maybe Apple Vision Pro 2? Let me know in the comments below. I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.